She's bold, she's fast, she's fearless. From the pain of losing her mother just days before the Olympic trials, to becoming one of the fastest women in history, Sha'Carri Richardson's story is about far more than just sprinting. It's about resilience, about rebirth, and about rewriting your destiny on your own terms. Critics called her done. Sponsors pulled out, the media doubted her comeback. But what they didn't expect was the fire that would follow. A fire that would set the track and the world on notice, from her humble roots in Texas to that 10.65-second sprint in Budapest that silenced everyone. We're diving deep into the rise, fall, and phoenix-like return of Sha'Carri Richardson, her life, her mindset, her legacy, and everything you didn't see on TV. Sha'Carri Richardson was born on March 25, 2000, in Dallas, Texas, a city known for its heat, hustle, and heart. But Sha'Carri's early life wasn't picture perfect. Raised by her grandmother Betty Harp and her aunt, she found love, support, and strength in a home that didn't include her biological mother early on. Even as a little girl, she was really quick. At Carter High School, Sha'Carri wasn't just running races, she was dominating them. Coaches knew, competitors feared. This wasn't just another fast teen. This was a once-in-a-generation talent carving her path through adversity. With a tough upbringing and more pressure than most adults face, she stayed focused in an era where distractions are everywhere. Sha'Carri kept her eyes on the finish line. Her reward: state championships, national attention, and the first whispers of a future Olympian. But for Sha'Carri, this was just the beginning. College world records, fame, and a fall from grace were all waiting ahead. But her foundation, the pain, the family, the fight, was already being built right there in Dallas. In 2018, Sha'Carri Richardson took her talent to Louisiana State University LSU, a powerhouse in college track and field. The moment her spikes hit the Baton Rouge track, everything changed. In just her freshman year, she did the unthinkable, blazing through the 100 meters in 10.75 seconds, setting a new NCAA record. At just 19 years old, she became the fastest woman in collegiate history. The world took notice: coaches, brands, the media. Everyone wanted to know, who is this girl with fire in her feet and even more in her personality? Sha'Carri didn't waste time. She declared professional shortly after her record-breaking season. That same year, she signed with Nike, an early sign that this wasn't just a rising athlete. This was a brand in the making. With her bold look, electric interviews, and jaw-dropping speed, Sha'Carri exploded into the spotlight. The sprinter who once ran barefoot in Dallas now stood at the edge of greatness. But the track ahead wasn't smooth, and her biggest tests were still to come. June 2021, Sha'Carri Richardson lines up for the biggest race of her life, the U.S. Olympic trials, 100 meters. In just 10.86 seconds, she doesn't just qualify, she dominates. With fire in her stride and bright orange hair, she becomes the face of Team USA. But just days later, the dream shattered. News breaks that Sha'Carri tested positive for marijuana right after learning of her biological mother's sudden death. The world was stunned. So was she. As the headlines swirled, one thing was clear: she'd be suspended and would not compete in the Tokyo Olympics. Her chance at global glory was gone in a flash, not because of performance-enhancing drugs, but because of grief and a moment of coping. The public response: explosive. A national debate erupted over outdated drug policies, athlete mental health, and systemic double standards. Support poured in from fans, athletes, even celebrities like Dwyane Wade and Cardi B. Sha'Carri didn't make excuses. She owned her actions. "I'm human," she said in an emotional interview. And in that moment, stripped of medals and endorsements, she became something more than an athlete. She became a symbol, a cultural lightning rod, a face of strength, flaws, and all. After missing the Tokyo Olympics and facing a wave of criticism, 2022 wasn't easy. Sha'Carri struggled on the track. Her form was off, her confidence shaken. Many wrote her off as a one-season wonder, but behind the scenes, she was rebuilding, quietly, fiercely. Then came 2023. New mindset. New management, new energy, no more distractions, just pure focus. Sha'Carri showed up to the World Athletics Championships in Budapest not to make a statement, but to make history. In the women's 100 meters, arguably the most anticipated event, Sha'Carri silenced every critic with a time of 10.65 seconds. Not only did she beat the reigning world champion and Olympic gold medalist, she became the fastest woman in the world that year, but she wasn't done. She went on to grab bronze in the 200 meters, proving her range. Then, alongside Team USA, she anchored the 4x100 meters relay, blazing to another gold medal. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a coronation. From heartbreak to hero, Sha'Carri became the first American woman to medal in all 3 sprint events at a world championship in over a decade. Her story wasn't just about speed, it was about redemption. She is now one of the fastest women in history, etched in record books and remembered for the fire it took to rise again. And make no mistake, this isn't the end of Sha'Carri's story, it's just the beginning of her legacy. Before she even says a word, Sha'Carri Richardson speaks volumes. Bright orange hair, bejeweled nails, tattoos that tell stories. She's not just a runner, she's a walking statement of power, style, and self-expression. Her look draws inspiration from the legendary Florence Griffith Joyner aka FloJo, but Sha'Carri brings her own Gen Z twist. It's modern, it's unapologetic, and it's real. She's not trying to blend in, she's built to stand out, but her boldness isn't just about fashion, it's about freedom. She speaks openly about mental health, self-worth, and what it means to be a strong Black woman in the public eye. She's also an advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, never backing down from uncomfortable conversations. With millions of followers on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, Sha'Carri is more than an athlete, she's a cultural force. From Nike ads to high-fashion magazine covers, her face is everywhere. And whether she's sprinting or styling, she's rewriting what it means to be a modern-day icon. As of 2025, Sha'Carri Richardson's estimated net worth sits between $1.5 million and $3 million, and it's only climbing. But this isn't just from running. Sha'Carri turned herself into a brand. She locked in early endorsement deals with Nike even after her Olympic suspension. Brands like Beats by Dre and CROC followed suit, recognizing that Sha'Carri's influence went beyond the track. From beauty lines to high-fashion collaborations, her look and voice moves culture. With her comeback complete, she now commands high-paying appearance fees, motivational speaking gigs, and influencer partnerships that keep her income flowing even off-season. Sha'Carri's brand is about confidence, culture, and comeback. And while medals matter, she's proving that in today's world, influence is currency and hers is golden. While Sha'Carri Richardson is one of the most visible faces in track and field, she keeps her home life surprisingly low-key. Based in the US, she's never done a full-on YouTube house tour, but fans catch glimpses of her space through her social media, from her glam room, lined with mirrors and luxury makeup, to her backyard gym, where she trains under the sun. Sha'Carri's lifestyle is a balance of grind and glow. Fitness and fashion don't compete in her world, they coexist. She's big on self-care, showing fans her affirmations, recovery routines, even skincare tips. Whether it's training at sunrise or winding down with candles and music, she's creating a life that feeds both body and spirit. Sha'Carri's daily life isn't about flexing wealth, it's about protecting peace, fueling purpose, and staying laser-focused on greatness, because even when the cameras are, Sha'Carri Richardson has always lived her truth out loud. Openly bisexual, she became one of the few high-profile athletes to speak candidly about her sexuality, using her platform to stand for authenticity, not perfection. She's had public relationships in the past, but in recent years, Sha'Carri has chosen a quieter, more private love life. After the highs and heartbreaks, she's focused on healing, growth, and self-love on her terms at the heart of her world. Her grandmother, Betty Harp, the woman who raised her, believed in her and cheered from the front row at every meet. Sha'Carri calls her the real MVP, her #1 fan, and her anchor. Sha'Carri often speaks on the power of chosen family, the people who support you when the world doesn't. Her journey reminds us that family isn't always blood, it's love, loyalty, and the ones who clap when you rise again. Sha'Carri Richardson is more than just a sprinter, she's a role model. For young athletes, for marginalized communities, for anyone told they don't fit the mold. She blends speed with style, sport with activism, and passion with purpose. Her presence in pop culture is undeniable. From magazine covers to viral TikToks, Sha'Carri speaks the language of a new generation, one that demands authenticity and fights for change. As we look ahead, the 2028 Olympics are already in sight. Beyond the track, Sha'Carri has hinted at launching her own fashion line, a foundation for youth empowerment, and even a memoir or docuseries sharing her story in her own words. Sha'Carri Richardson's legacy isn't just about medals or records, it's about inspiring millions to be bold, be real, and run their own race on their own terms.